G'day, Greg Mueller from Useful Feeds in Strathfield here. Let's talk tomato trellises. Like lots of people, I used to use these welded steel so-called tomato cages, but found they weren't that useful. They're only held up by these thin little wire legs at the bottom that go in the soil, and when a tomato plant gets big and heavy, pokes out the top, they just fall over. Great for capsicums, great for eggplants, but I don't really rate them that much for tomatoes. So what was I going to do? Well, I went over to insulation mesh that goes in ceilings of houses. You can see it here holding up some of my coloured snow pea research beds. But it's pretty lightweight, it's pretty thin, it's beginning to rust at the bottom after a few years, and you've got to get on a milk crate or a ladder or something to hammer in these big tall star posts, and you've got to pull them out at the end of the season, which can be really difficult. So one day I had these tomato plants to plant, and the only spot I had was in a tiny little rockery, and the weldmesh panel I had wouldn't fit inside the rocks. So I thought, I'll just curve it. So by bending it, it would fit, and then standing it upright, it would fit in between. But it was really difficult to hold it up with posts at either end because it kept wanting to spring apart. And I thought, well, why don't I just put a bit of tie wire across it? So here's a little bit of fence wire hooked into the top there, and I just leant on it, bent it, hooked the wire in, and then I ended up with this almost self-standing tomato trellis. It needs star posts at either end, of course, to hold it up. So this is now how I go with my tomato trellising. A short star post at either end of the trellis, held up by a little bit of tie wire, and then you end up with this beautiful, sinuous, wavy tomato wall. It's fantastic, beautiful way to go. And the other joy with these things is, at the end of the season, unclip the wire, they'll lie up against the side of your shed or on the roof of your shed. So storage is fantastic. So have a go at a Crinkle Crankle tomato trellis.